Hey everybody, this is the Ask Ron section, and this is Wolff sitting beside me here. We are at the Quick Turn Real Estate School in the DC market, and we've had a great 2 days here. Behind the camera is Todd Foster, but he can't speak because he's lost his voice. You don't usually have much to say anyway, so we don't care. All right, let's go ahead.
Oh, Brady's here too.
I just got here.
All right.
You said you were in the lobby.
Okay.
This is a Wolff. In case you haven't seen this Wolff from the Wolff couple of things. Somehow you break their arm or something like that.
You got him.
Oh, wait,
He's
you
got
got it. You got it.
He
No,
had
you
it.
got it. That's, oh.
No.
His arm is broken. You did
You
break
broke
it.
it.
Anyway, clamps on you like that.
Oh, do a good one, honey.
It's so cute.
Other stupid stuff. All right. What are the questions?
Question number one. When I was talking, it's from Marilyn in Georgia.
Hey, Marilyn.
When I was talking to a seller about doing an option, she didn't want to do a lease option, and I asked her if I could send her a copy of the contract prior to her decision. So I told her once she had decided to proceed, I would come see the house and bring the contract to her so she can see and sign the contract. I wanted to know if I handled this correctly, or should I have gone another way in the future?
Well, yes. I never send somebody a contract before I've even seen the property. That never works out. So let me know if it does. Okay. She said she didn't want to do a lease, which means you can't put anybody in the unit. So I mean, if you want a straight option, that's fine, but you better have a big gap between what she wants and what you want to sell it for. Did I hear it was a mobile home?
No, that's the next one.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I'm okay with an option, but just know you don't get paid until you sell it and cash out of it.
Yeah.
So why not a lease option will be my next question. And I never send the agreement until I've seen the unit and we come to oral terms. When we come to oral terms, then I whip out the agreement.
And we don't use the word contract, do we?
We try not to. What we do is we execute. Are we okay, the paperwork or the agreement?
And let me say one thing about agreements or paperwork or contracts. A lot of times it's not etched in stone. You're not getting out a chisel and chiseling these numbers in stone. Okay, so sometimes the contract is kind of an opening bargaining position. So when you're going in there, don't be afraid to go in there with the contract and try to sell the contract right when you get in there. When you send it to them in advance, you got no chance to build the rapport before they see everything.
Plus they don't understand half of what they're reading. You scare them away.
That's
Yep.
true.
Question number two, Anna from Virginia. I live in a mobile home park where everyone must own their home. There are quite a few that went up in sales recently. How do you go about acquiring a mobile home creatively? Since there is no real estate title, only a car title involved, and the park will not allow renters.
Well, you can buy a mobile home with owner financing just like you can any piece of real estate. You don't need to have a deed to do it. You need a contract is all you need, and the contract will say, when you pay me off, I will give you the title to the house, to the mobile home. That's all. It's like a land contract on a house. Works the same way.
Yeah.
You just don't have a deed involved.
Of course, this is assuming that the seller wants to sell it to you on terms.
Okay, question three, finding lawyers. Okay, this is from Antonio.
How do you find a good lawyer?
Yes, pretty much. That's
Get a
the
shovel and start digging. Next, you want to know how to get an attorney out of a tree, right?
Now we got the attorney
That
joke.
wasn't the question?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Okay. I'm finding it hard to get a lawyer to work for me. I've spoken to 9 lawyers, and they all say that deals like this they're not comfortable doing and they don't exist. One of them told me it sounds shady. How do I find a lawyer that will actually work with me?
Well, I can tell you right now, it's not the lawyers, it's whatever you're saying.
Yes.
Because real estate closing attorneys do deals like we do all day. Now, some of them won't close a subject to deal. There's no reason they can't do a lease option deal or an owner financing deal. This stuff has been going on for centuries. So it's nothing new. So whatever you're saying is scaring them away, and I can't answer your question without finding out what that is you're saying. Here's what you say to an attorney. Number one, are you a real estate closing attorney? If the answer is yes, okay. I do several types of deals. Sometimes I buy subject to, sometimes I buy with owner financing, sometimes I lease with an option to buy. Are any of those an issue for you? And that's all you say. And you'll probably get a yes the first time, if not certainly the second. And by the way, if you don't get a yes, don't try to convince them, just move on.
The first thing is when you look up real estate attorneys, like Ron said, there's a lot of them that don't do closings. So don't waste a bunch of time of yours and theirs.
Yeah.
Ask them first question, do you do signings?
Real estate closings.
Yeah, and that's all you need. I mean, if you find someone who's okay with your paperwork and they'll do your closings, that's essentially the main thing that an attorney will do for you.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you something else. If you really want to have credibility instantly with an attorney, which is your issue here, have a contract. I mean, have a signed deal.
A
Go
real
out there
deal.
and get a deal. And yes, it would be nice and comfortable and beautiful in a perfect world to have your attorney all lined up. But guys, go get a contract. And I'm telling you, there's a bunch of attorneys that'll line up because you'll say, hey, I'm a real estate investor in the area. I've just closed a deal. I need to have an attorney signing on it. When is the soonest we could sign it? And they'll say, oh, maybe 3 or 4 days. And you'll say, okay, let me send my paperwork in. And they'll have time to review the paperwork before you get there. There, see there.
So if your attorney, okay, hit me.
Okay.
So if your attorney thinks there's something shady, I guarantee it's what came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
There's nothing shady about what we do.
Last question is from Amol in Florida again. I'm interested in acquiring a condo in an excellent residential area. The condo is currently part of a probate. The owner passed away recently and the heirs, who knows how many, have put the condo up for sale. I'm considering either wholesaling it or lease option as my exit strategy. The condo is excellent shape and requires little or no work.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me any of the math. I mean, golly, how can I answer that? I need some numbers.
The first choice, though, I mean, wholesaling, the difference between wholesaling and lease optioning is so dramatic. You have to get it for a really good deal to either do an option or a wholesale. Either one of those, a straight option or a wholesale.
Yeah.
Straight option's on a pretty house, the wholesale is on an ugly house usually. But that's a whole different thing is if they're going to give you terms. So if they give you terms,
We
you're
have no
instantly going to
numbers.
gravitate towards a lease option or some kind of owner financing because that's when you can make your money.
Part of a probate, so they probably won't get terms.
Yeah.
The owner passed away, so kind of hard to deal with them. Their heirs have put up the condo for sale. However, first thing you got to do is find out if they'll sell on terms, because if they
Yes.
won't, you're done. Unless they're selling it for a deeply discounted price. Then you could put it under contract and either wholesale it or retail it to a qualified buyer. But there's nothing else we can tell you with that input. All right?
Many properties you run into, especially where in Arizona, guys, there's a lot of elderly population. You're going to run into properties
We have
where
old people in Florida too.
you're not one of them. You're young and hard, right?
That's right.
All right. So you're going to run into these situations where you're dealing with heirs, and sometimes it'll work great. If you have one heir, it's 10,000 times easier than 2 or 3 or 4. And if you got 2, maybe you got a decent chance of working out some kind of owner financing or having them take time, give you time. But other than that, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, any more?
Challenge?
No, that's it, Ron.
All right,
Great
guys, this is your
questions.
last chance to sign up for my 3-hour simulcast on the 9th, which is Wednesday. It's only $197, and go down there and sign up right now, because I'm going to go through land trust, IRAs, corporations, LLCs, S corporations, how they all marry together. It's some really cool asset protection stuff that only I can show you. Plus you get a whole bunch of documents that you download, and I'm going to give you all the PowerPoints. Plus you can ask questions while you're on this simulcast. So get signed up right now, because we can only hold 500 people, and the last time I looked, we were well over 400. So time is running out. See you next week. Go do some deals.
Bye.
Bye.